round number 4. It's a very, very fast circuit where we are looking forward to some really exciting racing. I'm Arthur Debenham. With me, I have Alan Smallman. But let me quickly remind you what happens in the first part of this Irish weekend as we take you back to Nuts Corner and show you our winner yesterday in the Metro 6R4 there was Will Gollop. But here at Mondello Park, we are going to open the proceedings with the Nova Challenge, and we do so as they come off the start line. We can see that indeed we have a new place at the front in Greg Foreman. Greg Foreman with the black car going very, very wide there. We ride here with Dave Metcalf in the celebrity car, or one of the two celebrity cars that we have in this series, as we can see him coming through now to take the lead. Is it? Yes. Into the lead goes car number 91, though, surely. That indeed is Dave Metcalf. Yes, Dave Metcalf, you can see there with a nice clear track as he comes into this very, very fast right-hander, which leads them back onto the start area, up over the start-finish line, completion of that lap. And you can see Dave Metcalf now with a fairly comfortable lead. Watch this man, Ian Evans. Ian coming through quickly from the back after a very bad start. But there is car number 1, 91, Dave Metcalf, the Works Vauxhall Dealer Sport rally driver, making his second appearance here in Ireland in this Nova Challenge as he drives the John Welch celebrity car through in first place. Rob Coates still in second place. The black car of Canterbury's Greg Foreman there. And what a change, Alan, to see someone different up front.
I must admit, it's quite surprised to not see the pink car looking at 3B, whatever the side is. That's Rob Coates, I do believe, into third spot. Now, second spot must be now Greg Foreman in 120. But look at Ian Evans coming from the back, now lying third, I do believe, behind Rob Coates. Greg Foreman, sorry.
That's right, yes. Greg Foreman going well there. You notice Greg Foreman's car still sitting up pretty high. He hasn't got all of the suspension modifications carried out for this car yet, sitting pretty high off the ground in relation to the Ian Evans car. Centre of gravity quite high on that one, and obviously not quite a good handling car through the corners as they come out the chicane down that fast back straight into this equally fast long right-hand loop section, which leads back over the finish line area here. Greg Foreman still holding the advantage in this really good tussle, and you can see that Ian Evans decided to tuck in and slipstream him down the straight. Meantime, back onto his last lap comes our race leader, Dave Metcalf. Dave Metcalf, first man really to get to grips with Ian Evans in this series. We thought perhaps he would be able to, and he most definitely has here at the moment. Comes around the fast Mondello Park circuit, which today, of course, makes history. The first time ever that the British National Rallycross Championship has had a qualifying round outside of the United Kingdom. And it's County Kildare Motor Club here in the Republic of Ireland opens the proceedings this afternoon with victory for Dave Metcalf. Dave Metcalf coming through to take victory over number 35, Ian Evans. Greg Foreman there in third spot, with Rob Coates in fourth. Well, we're going to continue the theme of the Novas in the early stages of this transmission, and we go straight into the third qualifying heat of the Novas. Remember, they had 3 qualifying heats leading into their final. From the centre of the front row, Ian Evans, the championship leader, does indeed head them away, and we can see quite a gaggle of cars there from inside Dave Metcalf's car. See how very, very close it is into this very fast right-hand corner that leads along up towards the Subaru chicane. And Greg Foreman in second place there as the leaders go through. There's Rob Coates challenging hard on car number 91, and 91 is Dave Metcalf. Greg Foreman there, car number 120, showing signs of a little bit of contact through the course of the proceedings there with a bandage on the front corner of his car, chasing hard on Ian Evans. In third place, I think that might be number 91, Richard Lyons, the Dubliner, well-known rally driver here from the coast of Ireland. But that's our race leader, number 35, Ian Evans from Ross-on-Wye, making no mistakes about it this time as he goes on his way. There indeed is car number 91, that's Dave Metcalf. But it's Ian Evans away in the lead. Ian comfortably in the lead. Greg Foreman still in second spot.
Much better to see Greg Foreman making his mark. In fact, this car from the Will Gollop stable, the GTEC Motorsport Vauxhall Nova. Of course, Greg is looking after Will Gollop 6R4 this year, the European Championship as a mechanic.
That's right. He's a very busy year ahead of him, competing in this Nova Challenge. Former Formula C driver, used to drive Fiestas, sitting there in a good second place, getting more and more competitive as the series progresses. With Greg there coming home in second place, checkered flag out, and a victory for Ian Evans with Richard Lyons, the Dublin-based rally driver here from the south, in third spot. Well, we go straight to the finals then, Alan. We are getting the Vauxhall Novas really to the forefront today.
Yes, obviously been suffering from this enormously wonderful Irish hospitality we've had today here at Mondello Park, thanks to the Mechanical Go Motor Club. There we see, once again, Ian Evans on the front row. Alongside him, Greg Foreman and David Metcalf there on the inside, I do believe. With number 91, the Joel Welch Celebrity Vauxhall Nova.
And you must bear in mind, of course, that celebrity drivers are basically having a one-off drive in this series. They are not championship contenders, and so if one of them is first or second, it will be the driver in the next place up from the celebrity drivers who takes the maximum points. And at the moment, with the two celebrity cars up front, that man is Rob Coates. So Rob Coates really leads the Nova Challenge at the moment. And we can see trouble there for Ian Evans. Ian going very deep into that corner as we ride with David Metcalf chasing hard on Richard Lyons. So this is the final of the Nova Challenge here at Mondello this afternoon. And quite fittingly, it is an Irishman in the lead. Car number 191, the GM Exchange Units entry there, but being challenged now and overtaken as Dave Metcalf comes through. Metcalf through into the lead in the John Welch prepared car. So it's Metcalf versus Lyons, these two international rally drivers up front as they come away from the Budweiser grandstand up into the Subaru chicane. We can see the battle there between Rob Coates and the black car of Greg Borman, with Paul Coney getting the act as well, the former minicross champion. Paul Coney now coming into the act. Paul is reckoned to be perhaps one of the drivers who will come strong later on in this series. He's been fighting the financial game to get all the parts for his car, but he's there battling it out amongst the leaders of the Nova Challenge proper contestants. But these are the celebrity drivers who are dominating this one at the moment, and we can see it's Greg Borman in the third place now quite comfortably as we watch 191. Richard Lyons go on his way. Richard Lyons going round, but there's our race leader, Dave Metcalf. Dave Metcalf, you can just see the camera mounted inside that car that's been giving us our in-car shots, mounted there on the roll cage as they come away through Subaru chicane and down the back of the Mondello Park circuit into this very fast, long right-hander off the loose. Where very often watched through the course of the afternoon, you'll see drivers very often getting into troubles coming on the exit of this corner. And there he's getting into troubles as I speak. It is right on cue. Thank you, Greg. Greg Borman doing a great job for the commentator there, but perhaps not such a good one for himself. As we see Dave Metcalf coming in to have a very close look now at Richard Lyons. Richard going a bit wider past the Budweiser grandstand and allowing Dave to close in up under braking for the Subaru chicane. Right and then left on the loose, before switching down this long, fast back straight. The gap opening up a little bit. The loose sections causing quite a bit of vibration inside the car, as you can see. But there is the race leader, car number 191, Dave Metcalf, dropping back now. We can see Dave Metcalf. I think we can hear the engine now. You'll find that his car has dropped back a bit and the engine sounding a little bit off song. And that's put Richard Lyons, the local driver, well in command of this race, as we see Susie Brailsford going through in car number 94 for the Texaco team. But there is 191, Richard Lyons on his way, and the home crowd obviously going to be giving him a good big cheer as he looks as though he's going to take victory in our Nova Challenge final here this afternoon and become the first driver to win a final, other than, of course, Ian Evans. So it's fourth time lucky for the Irishman here as he takes the checkered flag. And in his first drive, in the fourth round of the Nova Series, we've got this tremendous battle going on over the second place. And it's going to be Metcalf just hanging on, I think. Yes, Metcalf just hangs on. Rob Coates and Paul Coney coming through to take a good fourth place. Well, that was a good start, Alan.
I think so. Disappearance of Ian Evans there caused by a tyre rodding off the front near side wheel. So that's Ian Evans after the first lap. What a fine win there for Richard Lyons in his first drive in the celebrity race.
Was indeed. And now we're amongst the Formula C cars. The outside there, the white car making a good start. It's Peter Dalton, Citroen Visa, but it looks like Lloyd Spendler from County Wicklow, who's come through very, very strongly. Number 70, Mike Borner, I can see going through there from County Durham. But up front, it's Lloyd Spendler. And who is behind him? Do my eyes deceive me, or is that number 50, John Milner, in second place? I do believe John Milner has been beaten away by Lloyd Spendler. This is great stuff indeed. Surely it is the Peugeot Talbot Sport entry of John Milner in second spot. Well, a most rare occurrence, I must say, to see young John, the British Championship leader in Formula C, beaten away off the start line. But it's Lloyd Spendler coming through at the end of the lap. And Lloyd Spendler, the chef, from Delgany here in Ireland in County Wicklow has now been overtaken though by John Milner. John through on the inside. Lloyd fighting back again as they go away from the grandstand up into the chicane here. The Subaru chicane. It's John Milner with Lloyd Spenglove tucking right in behind him in the X-Roy Clark car. The green Metro away through the chicane and back onto the tarmac. There we can see Mike Borner in trouble. Car number 70, Mike Borner in a lot of problems there as John Milner comes on his way as ever up front. And Lloyd Spenglove pushing John Milner right out onto the loose. And John Milner, in his efforts to stay in the lead, has lost it. I wonder if there's a tyre going down, Alan.
I would think so, looking at the having on the car, but also having four wheels off. What happens is qualifying for John. And indeed, he's putting on.
Yes, he is. I think it is a flat tyre. So Lloyd Spenglove, but he's got the victory by virtue of John Milner's retirement. But let that take nothing away from a really cracking drive from young Lloyd. There goes Peter Dawkins from Gosport in the northeast of England with the Citroën Visa. But Lloyd Spenglove quite comfortably out in front now, and justifiably so, really. Thoroughly deserved success coming here for this very talented young man. County Wicklow coming away. Lloyd Spenglove then well in command of this one. There's Bill Turpin in the Formula B car number 81, the rear-wheel drive Fiesta, being chased by 29 Colin Rowley, Formula C Fiesta. So the more powerful Formula B car there of Bill Turpin just holding off the attention of 29 Colin Rowley, but the leader on his last lap. Lloyd Spenglove on his last lap. Away through Subaru as the rest of the field come down. Quite a good battle going on there with Colin Rowley trying to find a way past Bill Turpin. Hasn't managed to do so as I speak. Peter Dawkins goes through ahead of them though. Peter holding a fairly useful second place. Peter Dawkins having his first full season in National Rallycross Series, and needless to say, a lot of drivers driving here at Mondello for the very first time this afternoon. But as they come through to the checkered flag, we've already had victory for Lloyd Spenglove. As we come to yet another qualifying heat, car number 106. That's John Deary from Athlone with his 1340 Mini. And as they come away off the start line, let's try and pick them up as they come. Quite a strong Irish influence in this race. I think there's Alan Coates there with them. And 52, very unusual sight in Formula C. Dermot Rowan from Port Manop with the Toyota Corolla. The Corolla sitting there in second place. Leading them down. 411, Ian Bell coming through on the inside and then going very wide. The very promising young Scottish driver, believe it or not, is racing on Conway remold tyres here this weekend.
Well, cost all being all important in Formula C to keep the budget down, so any cheap tyres are available, lads will have them, yes?
Yes, indeed. And in fact, it's only the money from the Rallycross Trust that's brought him over here to get some experience, because they spun there, though. That's Ian Bell from Duns, who's got a flat tyre. One of the Colways has let him down, unfortunately.
You're looking with the kids of death this afternoon.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, indeed. 149 going through, Dave Knowles. But up front, we've got number 52, a very rare sight indeed. Dermot Rowan then with the Toyota Corolla in front. 95 there in second spot, Dave Shirley from Carlow, just down the road here from Mondello Park. Those two Irish lads leading the Talbot Samba of Dave Knowles. Dave, who I believe also is making his first acquaintance with the very fast Mondello circuit, which of course later on this year will be hosting the Sherwood British Open Championship in June, along with the European Championship, and as ever, a very popular venue with the drivers, not just because of the fast open circuit, but because of the nature of the organisation and the hospitality that's extended to us here. I don't know how we managed to get into commentary in on this weekend, do you? Because the hospitality is so good. We've been so busy enjoying ourselves.
We have been convicted to a lot of Irish hospitality here today, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Callaghan and Ludlow are very, very forthcoming in their run.
They are indeed.
And they're very much indeed.
Everything that we've said back in England about Irish hospitality is certainly being borne out here this afternoon. But what a good race we've got here. And what a surprise to see Dermot Rowan there with the Toyota Corolla still holding this advantage as we get Dave Knowles up now into second place. Still number 95 in third spot, Dave Shirley. Dave Shirley still hanging on to that third spot, but David Knowles having a look for the lead now. David Knowles on the outside of Dermot Rowan, but Dermot still with the advantage as they go past the grandstand. Dermot still with the advantage, and a really good scrap going on here now. Dermot Rowan still holding off the attentions of Dave Knowles. Dave tucks to the inside as they go into the Subaru chicane. Can't quite find it. Still Dave Shirley hanging on there from Carlo, and Dave Shirley nearly getting into second place now, but now Dave Knowles getting away. Car number 149, but still number 52 holding the advantage. Dermot Rowan still coming through, still with the advantage. And the first time ever, I think, that I've seen a Formula C race won by a Toyota Corolla, but good value for money entertainment is providing us here in three cars coming up very close to the line, and Dermot Rowan nearly losing it there, but Dermot I think is going to take it. Dermot, it is David Rowan from In second place was the Talbot Samba. Right, welcome back to Mondello, the screen sport coverage of round 4 of the British National Rallycross Championship. You rejoin us for more qualifying amongst the Formula B cars. On the front row, making a cracking start there, we have Roger Newbold. Roger Newbold, who had a very fraught first part of this Irish involvement. And Nuts Corner didn't go very, very well at all, and was not happy with the engine, but making a good start here to lead 26 Tony Barty, with Clive Richardson coming in the act there in third place, Sam Crawford in fourth. But as they come away through the chicane for the first time, Tony Barty, you can see, having to do something about Roger Newbold, this mid-engine, forward-powered Renault 5, which has very, very good traction off the start line. And the Harrogate engineer, twice Formula B champion of Great Britain, making an excellent start as Tony Barty has to sit there momentarily on the start line while the wheels spin and then try and get his act together through the course of the heat. And that he most certainly does. But what that leads to, of course, is highly entertaining rallycross. There in the black car is Derek Lisbeth, who's been having a fairly involved weekend here at Mondello Park. And as you saw from our opening credits, we can't show you everything, but my heavens, there's been some fairly major involvement from some of the drivers here with the scenery during this very fast circuit meeting hosting round 4 of the championship. And Tony Barty there getting 2 wheels up on the tyres as he went through the chicane, dropping back a little bit onto Roger Newbold, but regaining the momentum and coming into once again challenge. Still Clive Richardson holding the very strong third place. Clive Richardson in third place still, and I think about to be challenged. No, Sam Crawford with the Mark II Escort can't quite get close enough, and Derek Lisbeth there in 5th position with the black Escort as they go on to their way. So the battle for the lead still goes on its way. Still Roger Newbold with the advantage. Tony Barty keeps coming up to close, and yes, today we would have thought maybe that on this fast circuit maybe the Vauxhall would have been all conquering. That not to be, Alan.
No, I think Roger Newbold with the new Cosworth engine inside the Renault now, having got the problem sorted out, I think he's well on song. I think a very fast circuit here at Mondello Park.
Yeah, it's a slower revving engine than what he's had in the past, and they've had to work hard on the gearing. But coming here today, where to the best of my knowledge, he's never driven on this circuit before, so obviously he's got to sort things out once again. He seems to have done that very, very quickly, and Roger Newbold's going rather well at the moment. Still Tony Barty sitting there in second place with the Vauxhall Dealer Sport back car. 2-litre Astra GTE. Takes the checkered flag is number 34, Roger Newbold. He wins this one. Tony Barty in second. Clive Richardson hangs on to third. But we're told that the race has to be rerun. This qualifying race is a rerun. So we're on a rerun situation of this race, and so see if Roger Newbold can do it all over again. And Roger Newbold it is, again making a good start with Sam Crawford into second place this time. Sam Crawford up into second place amongst the others, I should have said, but not for much longer, because Bill Barker has brought the Toyota up into third place. So it's got the Bill Barker in the Toyota in third place. There's Kevin Sherry with the Group A GTI Golf, but we've got a battle on for the lead, and Tony Barty getting alongside Newbold there, but not able to quite make the room that he wanted to take that advantage, and so it's still Roger Newbold from Tony Barty as they come through. Roger Newbold, Tony Barty, those two cars beginning to pull away, those two drivers between them with 3 British Formula B championships to their credit, go on their way. The battle's still very much on. They come past the grandstand and up towards Subaru once again, and it's still number 34 Roger Newbold from 26 Tony Barty. Tony taking a very tight line there with the front wheel drive car and retaining his challenge on Roger Newbold. Terrible situation, Alan, when you've just won a race and then it's rerun, you've got to do it all over again.
Yes, but he's just getting value for money this weekend, isn't he?
Well, he is, yes. Roger's doing very, very well. This is the best we've seen Roger in the championship so far this year. And he can hang on to this. Who knows? He may be the man to beat in the finals. But Roger Newbold finds that Tony Barty gets the nose of the 16-valve Astra on the inside, but can't quite get it through. And the Microm engineering car goes on its way, and the force is such that it puts Tony Barty up on 2 wheels there in the Subaru chicane, and that drops him back just a little bit, as we can see 42 involved in there with Kevin Sherry, number 42, in all manner of problems. That's Lindsay Ferry from Dungannon, but back with the leaders, and here comes Tony Barty alongside Tony Barty through on the inside as they come up to the grandstand. Onto the loose, Tony Barty goes into the lead. Tony Barty into the lead as they go on to their last lap. So a marvellous manoeuvre there from Tony Barty, superb driving skill, but Roger Newbold not letting him get away, and Roger tucks the little Renault right in behind the rear of the Vauxhall as they come down towards the completion of this last lap, down the back straight onto that fast right-hander, onto the loose. Tony Barty throwing the 16 valve Astra through on the tarmac, comes away, and he's going to take victory as they come through to lap and ailing Sam Crawford. Victory then for Tony Barty from Roger Newbold. So the rerun, good for him, but not so good for Roger Newbold. Right, we come to the B final then, the B final of Formula A, and there you can see on the very back of the grid Stephen Palmer. Stephen, the current championship leader, both overall and in Formula A, had a fire on first runs when an oil pipe came off, missed the second heats, only did the third heats, and so that's put him onto the back row of the grid, where of course he's got to come through and try and win this Formula A B final, and that will move him forward into the A final. So Steve Palmer making a cracking start, and Steve Palmer it is coming away in the lead of the back markers, shall we say, at the moment, but in the lead of the race is number 173, Aidan Cregan from 110, John Maloney, and we look to see, I would think, Palmer making his move any moment now, but no sign of him at the moment, and the two Irishmen come very close together, and there's this battle being renewed between Aidan Cregan and John Maloney, and it appears to be those two cars, and there is no sign of Steve Palmer. Palmer appears to have gone, and it's an all-Irish battle up front here, and it's still Aidan Cregan for the Dynetics team holding off Ballysimon's driver John Maloney. John Maloney, of course, for the last 2 years has been the champion here at Mondello, and there we can see Steve Palmer out of his car, so he has definitely pulled off to retire. So that's the end of the day for the leader of the championship, Steve Palmer, and it's Aidan Cregan getting it wrong, and as number 110. Also in trouble, both the two leaders spin, and can either of them restart before somebody else comes through? No, and it's Davy Francis. Davy Francis, amazingly, with the two-wheel drive turbo Escort, who's come through to take up the running from Alistair Galloway's Audi Quattro. Maloney rejoins in third place. Now then, can Maloney haul them in? Well, really good stuff here, as we can see 110 coming back to try and challenge, and coming through into second place, I think, any moment now, John Maloney. Let's catch them as they come out. Yes, John Maloney coming up. Still in third spot though, still Alistair Galloway in second place. Davy Francis still leads it. Quite an amazing performance here from the lad from Donegal with the two-wheel drive turbo Escort, but he's still holding off the supercars. But Maloney is through to second place, and Maloney now looking for the lead. Maloney surely going to come through on the inside as they come up towards the completion of the lap. Yes, John Maloney through into the lead. Maloney leads, Davy Francis in second place, Alistair Galloway third. Well, quite an eventful Formula A B final, but a good recovery there, Alan, from Maloney.
What a superb recovery from John Maloney. I really thought he would be down at the back end of the field after that spin, but superb piece of driving and clawing back into the lead on the last lap. Absolutely super.
It is indeed, but what a great sportsman Davy Francis is to come out and have a go at these boys with a two-wheel drive car, and Davy certainly turning in a good run there. We caught a glimpse of 173 just behind Jeremy Crush, yes, Jeremy Crush, another two-wheel drive turbo car. But there's John Maloney on his last lap. John Maloney goes on his way. Still Davy Francis holding off Alistair Galloway's Audi Quattro.
Alistair Galloway, in fact, with no clutch, in fact, or very little clutch on that particular Quattro.
Yes, that's right. It's troubling him at Nuts Corner, and it's troubling him here today at Mondello Park. But despite the front, the back looks a little bit, the front looks a little bit worse to wear. No troubles there for John Maloney. John goes on his way. Still Davy Francis holding off the attentions of Alistair Galloway, but at the checkered flag, the winner of the B final and going then into the A final, John Maloney. A good scrap going on for second place, but a brilliant drive there from Davy Francis to hold off the attentions of John Maloney with yes, holding off the attentions of Alistair Galloway, I should say. Yes.
Not the Irish name, sir, that's the problem.
I think it's the Guinness. I think it's the Guinness.
I'd like to say it was.
Oh dear. Formula C final. Formula C final. There's so many Formula C cars around here this weekend that we're running a C final, and it's the Yorkshireman Steve Bogg leading his fellow Yorkshire driver Alan Coates there with David Knowles up into third place, I think, with the Talbot Samba. Those three English drivers then coming up into Subaru for the first time, but somebody going through on the inside there, number 106, John Deary from Athlone, trying perhaps a wee bit too hard, and that's allowed Steve Bogg and Alan Coates to get away. And Alan Coates coming up with this, no he's not, he's got back now with this rather hybrid Metro of his with its Rover 216 engine, Volkswagen transmission. They've been working hard on the engine just of late to try and get more power from it. That's certainly quite a competitive little motor car, but not quite where he needs it to be in Formula C, still a little bit below the performance of the Peugeots and the Novas. And it is indeed the Nova of Steve Bogg, car number 190, goes on his way. Those two English drivers well clear of this Formula C final. And it's 190, Steve Bogg coming on his way, still with Alan Coates in fairly close attendance. Alan getting a little bit closer, and a little bit of smoke coming there from the leader's car, but nothing seemingly to cause him too much concern. He doesn't seem to any diminishing speed, and he go a bit wide there though, and that's allowed Alan Coates to come up and make the challenge, and Alan Coates alongside as they come up into Subaru. Alan Coates is on the inside. Can he hold it? I think he can. Steve Bogg's gone very, very wide indeed, and Alan Coates is through into the lead. Alan Coates leads then from Steve Bogg now in second place, and Alan pulling well clear. A very good manoeuvre there from Alan Coates, really pushing on and trying to the very last gasp to take victory here, and going through on the inside, making a good move, getting through the lead, and beginning to pull away a little bit now from Steve Bogg. So Steve Bogg not able to quite get back on terms as yet. Still trying hard to repeat the performance as they come up to the same part of the circuit where the overtaken manoeuvre was carried out before, and this time Steve Bogg does get in very, very close indeed, and as Alan Coates gets it wrong on the exit of the corner, it is again a change of order, and Alan Coates is in trouble. Alan Coates spinning off, and I think there must be a breakage in suspension or something surely. He goes off going into the chicane, spins off on the infield. He's going to get going again, but now it's 190 Steve Bogg, who looks as though he's got a pretty clear run through to the next race. And as they come up over the finish line, we can see the battle now going on for second place. And leading that is indeed 9-11 Chris Ryan from Carrick Mines with his 1340 Mini. One of the Irish drivers. Still that smoke becoming a bit more noticeable now on Steve Bogg's car as he goes away on his last lap though, but I don't think there's going to be anybody close enough to cause him any problems before this one's over. So 190 Steve Bogg it is from Malton in East Yorkshire, coming through, having lost his sponsor but having lost nothing in his determination to do well in this British National Championship. He comes through and goes forward to the next final. Long way ahead of the rest of the order, with David Knowles just missing out there on the third spot. So the Formula B final, the B final for Formula B, and watch the man in the front of the centre of the front row. That's Derek Lisbeth from Finsner, Northern Ireland, who's had a very fraught afternoon. If you get a close view of that car, you will see just why. And we can see Tony Proctor having a little bit of moment there with Bill Turpin, and Bill Turpin going off and hitting the bank very, very hard indeed. We'll get a replay of that as they come off the start line. You can see Procky's car on acceleration gets a little bit out of control, and he gives Bill the slightest of a nudge. Nothing intentional, I wouldn't have thought. It was just on sheer acceleration, and as he tried to come through, he just touched the back of Bill's car, sent Bill flying off very heavily into the earth banking. So that race stopped with the red flag. Alan, your comments on that?
Well, I think you're right there. The Sierra of Tony Proctor is a real handful on any circuit. Off the start line, there's a lot of grunt off the start line. And I think, not deliberate of course, but the shunt into Bill Turpin's Fiesta proved a bit too much with a very light little car like this, and very powerful as well, but a front wheel drive, wheel spinning, out of control, but not very controllable on the start. And of course, off he went into the earth bank. Now, obviously, Bill has been hurt. He's had a very fraught day here, in fact, at Mondello Park, having broken the trailer. The car trailer, the axle decided to break on the way down here, but he arrived here very late. And now, of course, in the B final, his race meeting has come to an end this afternoon. Great shape for Bill. Great competitor.
Yep, we're back with the rerun up. You'll notice, needless to say, that Bill is not with us. Neither, in fact, is Tony Proctor, who has indeed been excluded for that incident, so he's not allowed to participate in the rerun. And it is Sam Crawford who's coming through on the inside, I think, to take the advantage up. Is it Sam Crawford? No, it's not. It's John Rowlands. John Rowlands who's got it from Sam Crawford. Derek Lisbeth in third spot as they come into Subaru for the first time. Derek Job behind them. As they go away through the chicane, we can see that Sam Crawford surely going to come through and take up the leading. He is. Sam Crawford through into the lead. Sam Crawford leads, and John Rowlands goes very, very wide, and it's Derek Lisbeth coming through in second place. Derek has already had that car on his roof today, coming off the start line earlier. He's back in with a vengeance, seems to know no barrier when it comes to having a go, and like so many of these Irish drivers, really driving with his right foot planted well and truly on the board. They certainly do enjoy themselves. Derek Job goes through into third place as John Rowlands' door comes off. Liam Carey, I think, there with the blue escort, has just gone through in fourth place. Con's brother, and we haven't seen in Rallycross for some time, but Sam Crawford's been around on the Irish Rallycross scene for a lot of years. A very experienced campaigner he is indeed, and he it is who comes through leading Derek Lisbeth with Derek Job in third spot as they come away up past the Budweiser grandstand, round on the loop, round the right-hander that leads up into the Subaru complex. Very fast circuit here at Mondello, very open circuit, and one that all the drivers love. And Derek Lisbeth coming in to have a look for the lead, hasn't got himself quite close enough to challenge Sam Crawford at the moment. Sam, car number 250, looking for a place here in the A final if he can possibly make it. And winning him, of course, will give him that. Derek Lisbeth, you can see the Derek's car. It looks decidedly second-hand, doesn't it? But the driver is driving it as if it was a brand-new car at the showroom. And once he's in that condition, Alan, I wouldn't think he's too worried about what
I would have thought that'd be okay. Just finish the meeting and get as high as you can, really. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for Sam Crawford, in fact, as aerobatics again, because the car that he's driving is a Pinto engine Mark II Ford Escort. Well, of course, well, not that particular car, but the same car I'm very familiar with in my days in Formula B. And it's nice to see a Pinto engine Escort showing the BDA is ready to go.
It is indeed.
Like this one.
No, that's a rear-wheel drive Mark III there for John Rowland, who's had a few problems here this afternoon. Had a fire in that corner, you'll recall, but that was caused when an fuel line came off in the engine bay, but happily not too much damage. As they come to the checker flag, it's Sam Crawford taking it from Derek Lisbeth, with Derek Job in third place. Those three drivers some long way clear of the blue car coming through now of Liam Carey. And so that completes the B final for Formula B. And John Rowland's coming through as we go to the B final for Formula C. B final for Formula C, of course, the small up to 100cc cars. These are the drivers who are fighting it out now for a place in the A final. And let's see what happens. I would think we'll have a pretty useful race on our hands. On pole position down there is 17 Roy Boy Clark. Looks like Bill Skirmer on the centre of the front row. I see Chris Bellamy on the inside of the row too. And of course at the back right-hand corner of your picture you can see the driver making a good start there. That's Steve Bogg, who won the C final. But as they come up into the first corner, Lawrence Gibson is right up there as well with his blue and yellow min. But it's Roy Boy Clark who's away into the lead. Bill Skirmer into second spot. Bill Skirmer into second spot. Chris Bellamy in third. Chris Bellamy goes up now, I think, into second place. Chris Bellamy surely through into second place. Yes, he is. One might almost think that Chris Bellamy is an Irishman. The cars of his colour just about the same as the national flag here in the Republic, as Peter Dorgan gets the Citroën Visa all wrong, coming through towards the completion of his first lap. And he is going to have to rejoin the tail end of the order. Meantime, up front, it is still 17. Roy Boy Clark from Bill Skirmer, with Chris Bellamy putting him under a lot of pressure as they come up through the Subaru chicane, and Bill Skirmer goes very, very wide and loses a couple of places at least, I would think, because it looks as though Ian Ray has also come through. There is Roy Clark in the Dynetics car, away in the lead. Number 17, Roy Boy Clark. It's Chris Bellamy second now, and there is Steve Bogg still trailing down towards the end of the order. But Roy Clark very much in command of it. As we watch them come through, it's Chris Bellamy taking up the running in second place. Now Chris Bellamy, motor engineer from Skellingthorpe near Lincoln in England. Runner-up to Ian Samwith in his class in the British Trial and Rally Drivers Association Clubman Championship of Great Britain last year, of which we must tell you that this is also a qualifying round for the John Speed Awards, and that's for a lot of the English club drivers over here to contest this one. And Chris Bellamy amongst them, backed by the Rallycross Trust. And Chris Bellamy it is there in second spot, still Ian Ray third. Then comes, I think, Lawrence Gibson is the next man up in fourth. Lawrence, who's having a pretty useful time here at Mondello this afternoon with the Brian Slark powered car, but up front the two Englishmen having a pretty good battle, and it's Roy Boy Clark still with the advantage. Ian Ray in third. Bill Skirmer we can see has dropped down now to fifth with the Peugeot. But Roy Clark it is, then Roy Clark coming away. Chris Bellamy chasing in vain, I feel, as Roy Boy comes down through the fast right-hander that leads up towards the finish line. Roy Clark from Chris Bellamy, and Roy it is. Chris tucks in behind him as they come away with another lap completed. Roy Boy Clark from Chris Bellamy up into and round the right-hander past the grandstand up towards Subaru on their last lap now. Then Roy Clark it is leading. Chris Bellamy, Chris, who probably fits in more rallycross meetings than most drivers in Great Britain. Very, very strange to go to an event and not see him. He's been involved in hot rodding and autocross racing before coming into rallycross, but certainly one of Britain's top Formula C boys at the moment. Closing on Roy Boy Clark, but not able to catch him, and it looks as though Chris is going to have to settle for second spot here as they come up, and it is indeed Roy Clark coming through, and Roy Clark takes the second flag from Chris Bellamy. Ian Ray in third spot from Lawrence Gibson, and then Bill Skirmer, Stephen Bogg, and as you can see, Roy Clark's the winner there from Chris Bellamy and Ian Ray. Come back to us after the break. We'll have the supercars for you. Welcome back then to Mondello with Will Gollop coming on to pole position for the Formula A final. And Will, very quick round here today, the fastest time of the day for him with the Silkleen car. There we see the top Irishman in the British Championship at the moment on the outside of the front row, Dennis Biggerstar. Behind him, the Englishman with the Irish-sounding name, Mark Flaherty, having got the gearing right here for Mondello, having a much better run than he had at Nuts Corner. There is the Charterlux Business Systems entry there of Barry Squibb, the X-Track, with John Welch just getting the Kenwood Mogul Thea Drake car lined up at the back. That's the Vauxhall Dealer Sport Astra, four-wheel drive X-Track transmissions at the back. So let's see what happens here in this A final then for the Formula A cars, and from the front row it's Will Gollop breaking early with Dermot Carnegie challenged for second place, and Squibby it is who's come through. And they go very, very wide, and it looks as though John Welch and Mark Flaherty have made up good placings there. And indeed it is Mark Flaherty and John who come up into second and third placings. Mark Flaherty second, John Welch in third. In fourth is Barry Squibb, then comes Dermot Carnegie. Then I think it was number 24 going through there, the Northern Ireland driver, Dennis Biggerstaff, but we're back with the leaders, and there they come round towards the completion of lap number 1. You can still see John Welch being hounded all the way there by Barry Squibb, but it's Will Gollop away with the bi-turbo Metro 6R4. It's a six-cylinder engine beating out about 600 brake horsepower. The normally aspirated version there, prepared at Will Gollop's G-Tech workshops. In second place for young Mark Flaherty, with John Welch coming through. John up into second place. John Welch then, as good a placing as John has had so far in this year's British National Series. And John Welch it is, through into second place. Mark Flaherty goes down to third. Now it's Barry Squibb coming up to look for third place. Hasn't found it yet, as Will Gollop drifts the 600 brake horsepower cars through this fast right-hander. Mark Flaherty gets that second place, or that third place, fairly secure from Barry Squibb, but John Welch it is in second. But Will Gollop is our race leader. And Will Gollop coming away to look for his second win of the series here in the British Championship. He's not a championship contender, but this year they don't have to register for the series. Points are scored automatically upon entering a qualifying round. So Will Gollop is once again going to be picking up good results here on good points, I would think. And Will it is in the lead with John Welch in second place. And John, can he close in on the race lead? He's getting away from Barry Squibb, as you can see, has now got through into third place. Then comes Flaherty, Dermot Carnegie. Then comes Dennis Biggerstaff, and John Welch in trouble. John Welch slowing down, oh dear, yet again, just when the Astra was looking so competitive, he hits problems, and Mark Flaherty it is now, but a terrific scrap on our hands now for the lower placings, as Barry Squibb now goes on his way. Barry Squibb up into second place. There you saw a flick of Will Gollop going away from us, but the battle for third place is really on. John Welch is still going, he's still in there amongst them, although he is now dropping back to the tail end of the order. We've got Mark Flaherty now in third spot, Dermot Carnegie in fourth, then comes Dennis Biggerstaff, then comes John Maloney. A trio of very, very fast 6R4s there, chasing hard on the Englishman, but still Mark Flaherty holding off Dermot Carnegie, Dennis Biggerstaff, John Maloney, and you can see that somebody has made a bit of contact with the back of Flaherty's car. The tailgate now gone high in the air, and it is indeed Dermot Carnegie who's come through. Dermot Carnegie through now into third place. Dermot Carnegie up into third place. Will Gollop still holds the race lead, and Will Gollop it is, coming away looking very assured of himself. The car looking and sounding absolutely superb. Comes through to take victory here in the A final for the Formula A cars. Barry Squibb is a distant second place. And who's going to emerge from the pack in third place? It surely is Dermot Carnegie, with Mark Flaherty, I think, just holding on to fourth place. Mark Flaherty fourth from John Maloney and Dennis Biggerstaff. That's the order as they came through, with Rob Moffat completing the runners. And there you see confirmation of that result. So, good one, that one, Alan.
I think so. Will Gollop really improving that bi-turbo car here. Looking forward to his next two rounds, in fact.
Right, well, Tony Bardi was beaten at Nuts Corner by the man who sits in the front row of the grid here, Brian Betteridge. Will he be beaten today? Watch Roger Newbold from the outside. And it's Betteridge who moves first, and Betteridge was in the lead for about the first few yards. But it's Newbold and Betteridge with Tony Bardi in third place. Then comes Mick Mansell, Sam Crawford, Bill Barker. And I think Kevin Pease was the last car into that corner. That's the way they go, away round through Subaru for the first time. And Tony Bardi, the championship leader, coming through into second place, getting past the man who beat him at Nuts Corner. And it's now up into second place for Tony Bardi. There we see a close view of Brian Betteridge. Brian now down into third place, but it's Roger Newbold who's got clear. Roger Newbold from Tony Bardi, from Brian Betteridge. Then a gaggle of cars all very, very close together here, with Mick Mantell holding off, I think, Kevin Pease is the next man who's moved up. But now we watch to see if Tony Bardi can close in on this man, 34, Roger Newbold. Roger, 2 times British Formula V champion. If you're a bit bemused by the word Charlie is written on the back of that car, that's in memory of his father, and his car bears that name and always has. and Roger Newbold it is, still holding the advantage as Tony Bardi comes up to try and claw his way into a challenging position. At the moment, there are no signs of it. Betteridge remains a distant third, and Tony Bardi, though, still, of course, will lead the British Formula B Championship at the end of this one, providing he hangs on to this second place, although Roger Newbold, placed second in the series at the moment, certainly closing in, and will, of course, gain 3 points on him if he hangs on to this lead throughout the remainder of this Formula B A final. Roger Newbold it is. How many of these cars will we be seeing in the Superfinal? Because remember, the fastest 8 cars from the 3A finals go forward to comprise the Superfinal, and it's in the Superfinal that they score points for the British Championship overall. And Tony Bardi is looking to be amongst them, and Tony Bardi is now closing on Roger Newbold. It's going to be good, Alan.
I think so. Well, Tony Bardi, of course, very much more at home on a fast circuit, but he's got no answer to the power of the red or off the line.
No, we can't say that these two Yorkshiremen were bred and born on the very fast Croft circuit, because they were both rallycrossing before Croft came into operation. And of course it's Croft where we will next be with the championship on Good Friday up in the north of Yorkshire on that very fast Croft circuit. That hosts the next round of the championship, and that of course is the home circuit for these two drivers, the circuit on which Roger Newbold most recently took his first ever outright victory in British Rallycross, and it looks as though he may be going to take a victory in Formula B here this afternoon. He will be the third person to win Formula B honours this year, Tony Bardi having taken the first 2 rounds, and it was Ryan Betteridge in that corner, but it looks very much as they come on their last lap that Roger Newbold's going to be the man to beat today, and this new Paul Gardner prepared engine seems to be working very, very well indeed. Tony moving out to have a look, but he can't do it, and as they come to the checkered flag, it's Roger Newbold who's done it. Tony Bardi second, Betteridge is third, with Mick Mantell a very consistent fourth place, a good result for that young driver, but what a turn-up for the books there. Now, Alan, no one can beat Mr. Milner, can they, in this one?
I don't. Just have a look at the little green and white Mini Spares Mini on the centre of the front row. Ian Sandwith has gone very, very well at home here in Ireland. Going well in the championship as well. Very quick off the line. So is John Milner, but he wasn't early on, if you remember.
No, and
so,
if anybody can beat him...
As I say, away they go, and John Milner, in fact, goes into the lead, and Ian Sandwith into second.
That's right, and if anybody's going to beat the Peugeot here this weekend, I think we've got to look for Ian Sandwith, and it's going very much to the form book with Colin Rowley making a good run there into third place. Then comes number 58, that's Carl Cleary from Rathfarnham here near Dublin. He's one of the top Formula C drivers here in the south of Ireland, and as you can see, he is the highest placed Formula C Irish driver in this final. He it is with the black Mini there in fourth place, Carl Cleary, car number 58. Had a very good winter series here in the Mobile 1 series at Mondello, chasing hard on Colin Rowley as they go away. But it is indeed still Sandwith in second place, then comes Colin Rowley. Then we can see Mark Proctor getting the action there, Mark backed by Dianetics today. Then goes the very promising young Lloyd Spendlove. But Lloyd down the order a little bit now as we get quite a good battle going on here for second place, with Colin Rowley coming in to look very closely at Ian Sandwith, Cleary behind him. Then it's behind him, it's Mark Proctor, but there goes our race leader once again, right out in front, full calm and collected again, pressing on as hard as he can to try and make the Superfinal, which here on the very fast Mondello circuit could be more difficult for him than it was up in the north on the Twisty Nuts venue. But what a scrap going on behind him. Still Ian Sandwith, it is Ian Sandwith from 29, Colin Rowley, but there comes John Milner. John comes throwing the car through this fast right-hander here to look for the race behind him, and it is still Ian Sandwith and Colin Rowley. Colin getting right in the action there, and Colin getting on the inside. I don't know if there was deliberate contact, but Ian Sandwith not a happy man, and he's lost that race lead, and the engine seems to have been stalled, and now we can see, I think there's a puncture on the John Milner car. Yes, the near side front tire is off the rim, and we are going to get a new winner here today in Formula C, and it's Colin Rowley. Colin Rowley, number 29, who's come through, and we can see that John Milner still goes on his way, still holding that second place, but Colin Rowley, for the first time ever in his rallycross career, leads the Formula C final in the British National Series, and it looks like Mark Proctor and Lloyd Spendlove who've come up very strongly indeed. We can see Carl Cleary going wide there with the black men. Carl Cleary going very wide. There he's 23, the Dianetics Nova of Mark Proctor, with Lloyd Spendlove who's come through very, very strongly, and as they go on their last lap, Mark Proctor giving this Nova the best possible advert that he can. He's trying to sell it over here in Ireland. He doesn't want to take it home, but it's Colin Rowley. Colin Rowley, the Newcastle coal merchant, who's coming through, and Colin Rowley, it looks, is going to take the checkered flag. He does, and he makes history. He wins the first ever National Formula C final for him, with Mark Proctor second and his Lloyd Spenlove in third place. Then comes Carl Cleary from Roy Boyd Clark, and a close race going on there with John Milner just holding off Tommy McLaughlin. But there we have it, a good victory for Colin Rowley. Surprise one too, Alan.
It's all changed again. John Milner supposed to have it all his own way ready, but not today.
No.
Young John.
Mondello turning up some real surprises here this afternoon. So we come then to the Superfinal, and with the absence of Stephen Palmer, maybe this one a little bit of a foregone conclusion. If all goes well, it should be Will Gollop out there, but we can see that Barry Squibb, who went so well at Brands Hatch before those punctures, he's right in the action in second place. Looks like Dermot Carnegie coming up very strongly there behind. Dermot, the local driver, comes from just south of Dublin here, where he runs the sand and gravel business and is the Kyrgyzstan winter champion, tied with John Maloney on points in the recent Mobile 1 Series here at Mondello, but lost out on best performances. The man he tied with, he's right in there with him as well. A press on regardless, a lad from Limerick, and he it is who's trying very hard. What's this battle for third place between the two Irish drivers? It's John Maloney. John Maloney chasing hard on Dermot Carnegie, but Dermot still holding the advantage. Dermot, who is an absolute wizard at auto tests. He's many times the Irish auto test champion, and now he's into Rallycross, and it's good to hear news here today from this Irish contingent that they are indeed going to send a team over to Great Britain to Croft later in the year for the Internations Cup, and it's going to be a very strong Irish team that comes over to England this time. But there's one man who will surely be representing Great Britain in that meeting at Croft in next October, and that's number 3, and that's Will Gollop, just pouring away there in the lead. That familiar sort of crouching style he's got, Alan, hasn't he?
It's unique, isn't it?
Yeah.
To Will Gollop. You always recognise Will Gollop. Whatever colour car he's in, the driving style is absolutely unique to him. But look at Barry Squibb then. Now, Barry Squibb this year, first year in Formula A, and what an impression he's been making on the championship this year.
He has, yes. This car really has been totally rebuilt since he bought it from John Smith, and John Mente's put a very good engine together for him, and don't be worried about the smoke. That's a familiar exercise from this turbocharged Ford. As behind him, those two Irish boys, they are having a real humdinger, and it's Dermot Carnegie still with the advantage from John Maloney. As they go down that back straight, Maloney coming in again to have a look at Carnegie. This is where it could change on this fast right-hander, but no, Maloney keeps a tight line through. No room for the Limerick man to find a way through, and still they hold those same positions, and still they give a lot of pressure on to Barry Squibb. Barry Squibb still holding that second place, and this is going to be good enough to put Barry into a fairly comfortable second place overall in the championship behind Stephen Palmer. They go on their way if he can just retain this place. As we can see that 110, John Maloney has spun out. John Maloney sitting forlornly in his car, but Will Gollop sitting quite happily in his, and he brought it over here to test the new twin or bi-turbo engine, and the transmission has proved 100% reliable, and he'll go back to Canterbury tonight. A very happy man with 2 victories on Irish soil, ahead of Barry Squibb, with Dermot Carnegie there into third place, and Mark Flaherty it is coming up into fourth. Mark Flaherty ahead there in the Superfinal.
Really bad. Went out for the first heat. Last week we had overheating problems. Thought we cured it, but evidently not. And I think initially the oil pipe split. I mean, that's what we found, and oil was leaking everywhere and all over the engine, and with the heat of the engine it caught a light. I saw it in the rear view mirror, carried on, I thought it was the last lap, but the marshals pulled me over, flooded the engine with the fire extinguisher, put the thing out, we got it back, found it was an oil pipe, we changed it, and off we went. But as I say, we missed the second run, so I was lucky enough to get it finished for the third. Went out, set fastest time in the third heat, but with only one time to my credit, I was only able to make the rear end of the B final. And due to the fire on board earlier on, it burnt some electrical wiring. And in fact, on the first lap, when the thing stopped, it was due to shorting, the electrical wiring on the body. Lost fuel pressure, and that was the end of the day.
So a fraught time here in Mondello Park. Now looking forward to Croft. You're still in the lead of the championship. Thoughts on Croft and Lyddon 2 days later?
Yes, well, Croft has not been a particularly good circuit in the past. I don't think I've been any further place than third. So, I think the new engine will be good round Croft. So I think I'll have the engine out, get it checked over, sort the wiring out, do some bits and pieces, and go to Croft with a new engine and hopefully go well.
So with a full championship contention this year in Britain, are you going to harp basically on the British Championship or some ventures into Europe?
Yes, I plan to start the European season this month, the first round in Austria, April the 24th. You know, we intend to run this new engine that I've been running, you know, for the last 2 weekends. I think it's quick enough. If we have time, the engine will go back and maybe we'll get another 20 or 25 horsepower out of it. But I don't think that will be in time for Austria. So by the time we arrive back at Mondello Park in June, I think I should have the new engine and hopefully contest a full season in Europe as well as the British.